Hello everyone. So in the last one we ran into a simple issue, and those of you following along might have actually seen what I did wrong. And it was I didn't press save for the most part. That was the biggest issue. So I saved it, and now my log memory tags, or no, my named query get memory data is now working. I did run into an issue where it did not like this. Maybe it will now. Like it did not like this limit. I'm not really sure what that's about, but I unchecked the box, executed the query, and now it's getting the data. And if I go again, I'm going to save it. Very important. And if I go back into my perspective and go to the tank controls and just start to move this stuff around, go back here, hit execute query. Might take a bit of time for it all to kind of filter through here. Let me look here. I think part of it is, yeah, it's sorting in ascending order, so the newest stuff's on the bottom. So we can see now it's at 57. I'll change it down to 16. If we execute the query, we should start seeing some 16s here at the bottom. So again, we're taking the data out of Ignition, sending it to a database, and now we're getting it from the database back into Ignition. So, and we're only getting a couple of pieces of it. We only getting the tank level and the temp. We're not really worried about the motor speed, but with our query, we could just toss in motor speed as well to get that if we wanted. And that would certainly be an option, but I'm not going to worry about that for this particular exercise, so you could play around with it. The other thing that I want to point out before we actually start to put this onto a chart is the cool thing about this is you could have like again, this stuff is kind of isolated. So we have the database isolated from Ignition, and we're making them talk back and forth, but we could have multiple databases, some of them talking to other systems and having those talk to Ignition. So the data here is being fed to and from Ignition, but other databases could have stuff like order entry or material cost or other types of information. And you can start to link all this together, and it can become really complicated and really powerful. So the last thing we're going to do is actually use the data to create ourselves a quick view. So we're going to go into the data page, the data view, I should say, which is a page. I'm going to go to my perspective components, and I'm going to grab a time series chart. I'm going to make it a little larger, just drag it out, and I'll delete, well, I'm going to have to move it. I'll delete this word data, delete the label, move my chart, and to attach this chart to our named query, what we're going to do is we're going to look under series for this 0 where it says data. We're going to connect the data to a query tag, and we're going to look for the named query, which is the get memory data, and hit select. We want to change the polling to like 3 seconds. And it's going to be that same query that we already had, and we're just going to hit OK. And now it should be showing our exact data. So we could say the title is going to be tank temp and level. And we can start to add different just different texts around it using labels, and there's also text options within this already, but you can see it's already updating. And again, I'm going to save it. Got to hit that Control S. We can see that if we go into the data now, we have our chart. And actually, that's a little large. I'm going to go back and shrink it. I got a little too ambitious. Try that. Control S. That looks better. Actually, I'm going to just drag it a little bit further up. Control S. There we go. You can see it says tank level 100, and it shows us over time how it changes. Now if I go into the tank controls and start to mess around with this stuff, we can start to see over time it's going to show us this stuff changing. And if we had it writing to the database faster, like let's say every second instead of every 3 seconds, we'd see it even more frequently. So it's and that polling rate is how often it's asking the database, running that query, getting that information from the database. So now we can see over the last 10 minutes, it's currently 9:46 a.m. This is what's going on with the tank. And now you're able to use that database. So I'm gonna show you one more way to do this without the database, and then that will pretty much wrap up this project.